is Sachiko Soro. I'm one of the directors of VOU Dance Company. VOU was founded in 2007. Primarily when we started, it was to explore the idea of what is contemporary Fijian dance. So what is dance that explores the idea of what it is to live as an urban Pacific Fijian, you know, with the times, like contemporary, you know, yet at the same time very much like rooted and researched in ancient traditions, and then reflective of what our experiences are at this moment in time. Well, to me, the word VOU, it's almost like it's a challenge. You know what I mean? It's like, is this new? Like, is this a new idea? Or are you just trying to, you know, revamp the same thing again and again? So it's like really pushing us, our creativity, like, you know, to try and keep it fresh, to keep it VOU, to keep researching, to keep like looking for stories, to keep engaging new artists and stuff in the way that we work, yeah? So that we can consistently try and produce things that are VOU, yeah. So we run a Conservatorium of Dance Diploma program. So when you finish that program, you'll have a diploma that you're a qualified dancer. It's taken us years to develop that curriculum with the help of one of my lecturers from Auckland University. So the curriculum is made up of 4 components. It's a dance technique, which is mainly based on like ballet contemporary, just so you're a safe dancer, you don't get injured, all that kind of stuff. Dance repertoire, so we learn lots of different kinds of repertoire in there, so they become versatile performers. They do sort of research into Fijian meke, and then they also do Indian forms of dance, Pacific, jazz, hip hop, you know, even circus. And then they get examined on that. And then they do theory. So they do a theory component. So they learn about choreography, about improvisation, about, they have to write essays, they have to do research projects. They learn about nutrition, they learn about injury prevention, all of these kinds of things. And the last one is performance experience. They have to do 40 shows in order to graduate. So that's like the curriculum. And then we, as a VOU company, we employ the graduates. Like if you go through, you get guaranteed a job at VOU Dance Company. Or if they want, they can go and work somewhere else if they want to. And they don't even have to pay any fees. Like they can do the course for free in exchange for working for VOU for a certain amount of time once they graduate. Navi, who you interviewed, he's going to go and do his postgraduate diploma in dance at the Auckland University. Even though he doesn't have an undergraduate degree, they've recognized his experience as equal to that. So he'll do his postgrad, so he's allowed to teach at the Conservatorium of Dance. So, because you have to have a postgrad to be able to lecture at the Conservatorium of Dance. And also for our other dancers, we usually send them for professional development overseas. So they might do like short courses, like we sent one dancer to America to do a 2-month hip hop intensive, or like Navi went to do like an improvisation sort of choreography thing. We've sent other dancers to Canada to do technical training, you know, so we do, and then when they come back, then they share with everyone like what they've learned there.
My name is Navi, and I'm currently the choreographer for VOU Dance Company. So a lot of the work that I do involves training with the dancers, making sure that everyone is up to speed with repertoire or the technical training that they need to be able to perform for the company, and also creating the repertoire with them. Yes, and just making sure that the performance team is doing what it needs to do logistically and artistically. Dancing itself, I think I've been doing ever since I was small, like any other person. I've been growing up in the Pacific since I was 3. I think I learned my first dance from my mother, but professionally with VOU Dance Company, I've been choreographing and dancing for 8 years now. This is my 8th year. A big part of being able to create is, because when you create, something's coming out, and a big part of that is, the first part of the equation is things going in. So being able to create new things all the time means inputting new things all the time, being aware of what's going on globally, constantly receiving new information, stepping outside of comfort zones. I noticed personally throughout my choreographic career that it was when I was isolated that I wasn't able to create those things. It's when I stepped out of comfort zones that I became inspired to create something new, or when I had an epiphany and a new concept really revealed itself to me. And so creating new concepts and coming up with something fresh and new is about being able to allow yourself to be vulnerable to new experiences. Every single person is different, and a person doesn't come as they are as an individual. They bring with them, even though it's just them, it's their family behind them, it's their aunties, their uncles, their upbringing, their hopes, their dreams, and when all those personalities come into one space, sometimes things can clash. One of the biggest things that I hold on to is the ability to try to empathize with people and to see things from their perspective and give people the benefit of the doubt and think, okay, how, instead of trying to get someone to fit the mold, think about what best part of this person can fit our picture. And it takes a lot of patience and consideration and empathy. I'm learning to develop those skills. But I find that those are three very valuable qualities to have in dealing with a group of people, especially when they're young people. I think some of the challenges that I assume other choreographers face, like myself, would probably be keeping things creative, keeping things fresh, and I think that's a personal standard that we set for ourselves. But I think the most valuable thing that I've learned from that is to take it as a creative opportunity as opposed to being a challenge. I hope that the work we do, not just VOU, but all our contemporaries in today's Fiji, we hope that what we do has a lasting impact and that it resonates for generations to come, and that people are able to stand on the work we create today, the way we've been able to stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us, and yes, I hope that we make a small ripple in some way.
We have a different kind of employment market. Our employment market is mainly like in tourism, which is a stronger industry in Fiji. You can work as a full-time dancer here in Fiji, working for tourism, but there's so many different career paths. It's not only dancers. We have like rehearsal director, choreographer, the costume department, the lighting and sound. We train them in lighting and sound, give them extra training, like arts marketing and administration, all of this kind of stuff. So it's not only dancing. There's all these other career paths that come out of it as well that needs that you need to be trained for. But they're working here as those roles, So and so when we designed the curriculum, we did it with a Fiji-specific outcome. We knew that the graduates for this program were going to be working in Fiji, and what jobs are available in Fiji, and what jobs can be done that will be created through the training in this program, So when COVID-19 hit, it was quite a shock. We saw it coming slowly in the news, but we didn't realize what that would mean. And we lost 100% of our income overnight. We went from 2020 looking like it was going to be the best year ever to just plummeting right down to the ground, And so we just had to think on our feet, and we just cut back expenses. So for our Conservatorium of Dance students, we provide accommodation for those students that come from outside of Nandi. So we go and audition in Vano level and all right around VT level and all. And so those students come and we provide them accommodation and even give them transport allowance, and then they get paid for shows. So we were renting accommodation for that, so I asked them if they could move in. So they're living with me upstairs, and some of them are living at the hub. So because we didn't have any money for rent, and then we also started a garden. So all of the students started planting all their vegetables, and now we've got a great garden. We've got all kinds of vegetables and fruits there, like anything you can think of. And there's a river at the back, they're catching fish. This is such a great retraining in in life skills. We've got chickens and eggs and all these kinds of things. And And I was just so worried, like, how am I going to support all of these people through this time? We were really lucky. We did a GoFundMe page, and we just had some donations that came from overseas. So we were so lucky. We had donations that came for that lockdown period, because we had zero income, you know, during that lockdown period. So that donation like kept us going. I feel like there's a big misconception that dance is not an academic field. It is an academic field, and you have to be very intelligent to be a dancer. At the same time, I believe that there's different forms of intelligence, and some people have very you know, like logical and rational ways of thinking, which might be suited to science and maths and things. And some have other, you know, lateral thinking ways of working, which are creative. And there's not that many places within the curriculum that serves people that are creative. You know what I mean? Like they tend to fall sometimes by the wayside. You know, like if they're not, their ways of being intelligent and their ways of working is not recognized. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we can sort of help catch those people and make sure that they finish school, and that it's not that you're not academic, it's because you're intelligent in a different way. You know what I mean? So you can excel in this field. You know what I mean? You can go this way, you know, and that's okay, and you're going to do great. You know, so that they don't have low self-esteem, like, oh, I'm not smart or I'm not academic. But it's like, no, you are talented and you are creative, and that is a different form of intelligence, and we need to celebrate that. I would love to teach dance in schools. It's one of my dreams that we can go and teach dance workshops in schools. I think that dance teaches so many skills, not just like physical skills. It teaches you how to work as a team. It teaches you how to communicate an idea that I have to you. You know, how do you communicate that? How do I make something that's in my head and give it to people? You know, that's a really important skill when you go into the workforce, no matter where you're working. You know, it teaches empathy. It teaches like how to think about concepts and make decisions. Like, okay, I'm going to do a dance about like climate change. Where are we going to stand? What's going to be the story? Like how are our costumes going to be like? You know, that decision-making process is really important for development of the students. You know, and you can only get that from creative subjects. You know, and like innovation, like if we want innovation in our economy, we need to start teaching creative subjects in school, because that's when you think laterally, when you think outside the box, then you're able to come up with new ideas. You know what I mean? Not just the same ideas that everyone is doing. So I really want to be a part of like helping like that creativity come out in the students. You know, if I can just be like a little seed in how the students develop and think creatively, I'll be, you know, so happy, and my mission will be done. So we would love to work in primary schools, in high schools, in helping the students develop their creativity and just building their confidence. My dream for the Fiji Arts Council and the government is for us to have like really open and clear channels of communication, because I feel like sometimes like all of the artists are working like individually, but I feel like it would be quite easy and not cost that much money for us to all like talk all the time. You know, like for us to have, like we tried a few years ago to set up this Fiji Islands Dance Association, and it was awesome. Like we had 18 dance companies come to the first consultation, and like 18, that represented about 300 dancers. You know what I mean? And so we had gotten through the initial stages, and then we had applied for the Department of Heritage and Arts to support just legalizing it. It was only like a few $1,000s to just help us with the legal framework of it and stuff. And anyway, it just sort of like all didn't really happen. But I feel like that would be a really good way to support the whole dance industry. Like if we can have a good Fiji Islands Dance Association, we can share resources, we can share information, we can help the like smaller companies, like make sure that they register their companies, pay the staff FMPF, like all of this like you know, basic stuff, so we can formalize the industry a bit more, you know. And then also, so that's just the Fiji Islands Dance Association. Then you have like FIPRA, then you have like VAVA, the Visual Arts Association, then you have the Craft Society, and all of these other amazing, like if we can get all of that working really well, like in dance we don't have anything. If we could somehow make that work, and then maybe like if one person from each of those people communicates with the Fiji Arts Council, like maybe they collect all of the information from dance every quarter and they give it to the Fiji Arts Council, be like, this is what the dance sector is doing, you know? So, and then, you know, like they can have a meeting like once every quarter, you know, and then the Arts Council can also communicate with them, like, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, just so that there's a open channel of communication so we all feel like we're a part of one family. I really believe, like, if we're talking about return on investment, like for the government, like the best investment that you can make that's going to make you a return is in the creative industries, you know? If like you develop this sector that is untapped. Right now that we are scrounging for money, we're like relooking at agriculture because the tourism has collapsed. Right in front of us is this creative sector that is like totally underutilized and under-resourced, and you know, it needs to be promoted so that we can develop this as a potential, like a whole new industry. You know, in order to do that, the artists need support. You need to put money behind the artists. You need to put money behind the Fiji Arts Council so that they can go and do the groundwork that's necessary. You know, the training, the fundamental training, you know, and then we can develop like film industries. We can develop like, you know, performing arts. There's so much amazing creative potential in this country that is just dormant, that will be left to die if we don't act now and give them the support that they need. I mean, this could be a turning point. Like, let's use this as an opportunity to turn around and support the creative industries so that we can develop in a positive way a new sector for the Fijian economy. I really believe that if we support the artists are going to support Fiji. Bula Vinaka, thank you very much, and Vinaka Vakalevu to the Ali Foundation. Vinaka Fiji Arts Council, thank you so much. Vinaka Vakalevu on behalf of all of us at VOU. Vinaka.